Hello everyone, this is the Orderflows trade analysis for Monday, June 13, 2016. My name is Michael Valtos. I'm the founder and trader at Orderflows.com. First, a brief disclaimer. This presentation is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation to buy or sell a futures contract or make any other type of investment decision. Futures trading contains substantial risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. First, I'll talk about the tools that I use in this presentation. The first one is the Orderflows Trader software, which I developed. It's a footprint chart, volume footprint chart, so you can see who's in control of the market. And then there's a couple of proprietary indicators, additional indicators that are not part of the Orderflow Traders that I've developed. The Orderflow Delta Scalper and the Orderflow Price Rejector. Today you'll see some trades taken with the Orderflows Price Rejector when it's imposed on top of the Orderflows Trader. It runs on the NinjaTrader trading platform, which is free. And if you open an account with the NinjaTrader brokerage, you could get very good commissions and a discount on the paid version of NinjaTrader. So that said, let's jump in. Okay, my first trade was in the E-minis. This is the E-mini 5 range chart. I prefer range charts over minute charts just because I like to see how price rotates from one level to another rather than all of a sudden you got to form a new bar because it's 8:30 or 8:35. I'd rather have a bar forming when price is moving as opposed to time. And this is the first trade I took this morning. It was just before 9 o'clock. I got short off. This is the price rejector giving me a sell. I have a divergence, negative delta at a new or equal high. I decided to get short here at 85.5. And, my stop was at 87. It came up, it touched that high again at 6.5 and started going down. My target was around the 83 area, 82.5. But we couldn't really put in that move. The fact that we came back up to the high again was not encouraging. But then I got a ratio there, which really sort of kept me bearish on this trade. I said we came down to 84.25 before turning back up and stopping me out at 87.5. So the first trade I took this morning was a loser, and I wasn't happy about it. But not every trade you have is going to be a winner. You got to have stops in there. There's only a 1.5. It's I'll say only a 1.5, but it's a relatively tight stop. I had a stop in of a 1.5, but I was looking to get 3 points out of it, so it was a 2-to-1 trade. Anyway, we took out the high, made a new high here at 7.75. Make that in. Then we started coming off again. We got ratio. We don't have a divergence here, but you do have a ratio indicating the prices are being rejected up here. Then you got ratio. I got short here at 4.5, 3 in a row. I was looking for a bit of a pullback up towards here, and it did come in. I'm short at 4.5. It got down to 2.5, and it's one of those things. It was a 2-point move, but I was looking for 2.5 to 3 points out of it. So it got within 2 ticks of my take profit. Started to turn around. I had price rejector giving a buy signal here, so again. I was short, but then I'm seeing, sort of an opposing signal here. So in the end, I covered it at 4. So I made a half a point. I made 2 ticks out of it. And, the market, it did trade back up to, 5.75 and then just kind of went sideways. So, again, it's, I'd have preferred to have gotten out a bit lower, but when you see things in the order flow that are telling you, hey, your initial thinking is wrong, you got to heed it and take what you get out of the trade. So at least I got a little bit of something out of it. It was 2 ticks, a half a point, so it said it was better than taking a loss, or a scratch. We did come up later, 9:30. I sort of fell asleep at the wheel here, and I missed this setup. Part of the reason was I was talking about something else at the time. I remember because this is the time when I'm in the room, and sometimes it's hard to talk and trade at the same time, especially if I'm looking at another market explaining something. Nevertheless, there was, I'll talk about the setup. You had the divergence, you got the ratio bounds low, so you got a couple of things here. Add in a couple of selling imbalances there. look for that pullback within 2 ticks of this high, and you got back within 1 tick, and then look for the sell-off. You usually, this is a very low risk trade. Your stop is going to be just on the other side of this high at 9.5. So it's going to give you, less than a point of risk, a point max. And, what's your reward? You're getting short here at, 8 3/4. We traded down to 6. So, that's at least 2 points. I'm not saying you could have held it all the way down here to 4, but, it gave you a very low risk trade setup. Again, I fell asleep at the wheel. I sort of looked at it as we were trading in this bar and I realized I missed it. For other reasons. But, nevertheless, opportunities do appear throughout the day. Then we started going sideways in here. Got ratio here, opposing, bearish and bullish signals. Usually when the market's going sideways, you'll get that. Then we came into the lows here after 10. I didn't, again, you have a stack selling imbalance. Then you get a buying signal here with the price rejector. And then, it just, they sort of cancel each other out, so I didn't take any trade there. I took this trade right off the low. I got the price rejector right here on the low. I got long in this next bar. I was a little bit aggressive. I got long at 78 1/4. I didn't really wait for a pullback, even though it traded down to, I think, 7.5, while I was in there. The next bar, we came down to this point of control here at 7.5. You got the single print, the 6 lots, you got a ratio. I had an offer up here at 9 3/4, and it traded right up there within 10 minutes. Boom. Again, did it go against me? Yeah, it went against me initially. I got in at 8 1/4, traded down to 7.5, 7 1/4. I think it traded there, but it was 7 1/4, 7.5 offer before turning around and popping back up and giving me a chance, for 1.5. So this one, it was a winner. The first trade that I took was a loser for 1.5. I got a 1.5 back here. I got that extra half a point earlier on this trade that didn't really go to my profit target directly. It just sort of spun it around, and I covered it there for a half a point. Then there's one other trade I took in the bonds today around the same time as that last S&P trade. Let me get the bond chart here. Okay, so bonds had been sort of trading in a range most of the morning. At 7:30, we made that low. We got a divergence. We got a ratio, and the market made a nice move up. That was a nice setup. But then, we just kind of went sideways most of the morning. After 11, we hit this high. We got a ratio up here. We got the price rejector kicking off. There's no divergence. You still got that positive delta. Okay, it's not the end of the world. I got short here at 23, 168.23. There's quite a bit of size here at 23. I remember it kept refreshing. There was iceberg order there. So I was really looking for that move to get through there and put a push lower. We traded down to 17 before turning around. I had a bid in at 19. So it was a four tick trade. I'm short at 23. If it got up to 26, which is this point of control, I would have been a bit more concerned that the trade wasn't going to work out. But at the same time, there was that bid there that kept refreshing. It was an iceberg order, and I really had a strong. If we get through that, you're going to see like a vacuum. You're going to see the market get pulled lower, and it did. It happened. Once we traded over 1,000 before it just fell over. And, you got the selling imbalances here, boom, we traded down to 19, it filled me. That was quick 4 ticks. Well, I'll say quick, it took about 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes to happen. But, what it was, you had the high, you have the ratio on the high. You got the price rejector giving you a sell. So there's a couple things at work there. And so, it was at the end of the day, I started the day off with a losing trade. I don't like to do that, but you can only do what the market is going to give you. Sometimes it's unfortunate. You start out on the back foot, and it does affect your mental thinking. But you still got to take the trades when you see them appear. I sort of fell asleep at that wheel on that other trade in the E-minis, but I came back. I recognized. I said I better get my head in that game, and when the next trades appeared, I took them. So after these 2 trades, you know, that's it. I was done for the day. You know, and you know, I see the markets in the S&Ps, you know, just sort of fell over late in the day. Honestly, I didn't really look too much at the, you know, at the flow down here. I'm a bit curious to see if there was anything. You know, yeah, you had this next price rejector here, kind of worked up. You know, this one, you know, I'm more inclined to take a price rejector signal when it's, you know, after a move, rather than this one where it just sort of, you know, touched that high 3 times. Yeah, if I got, you know, a couple price rejectors at the same time, I'd probably be taking it, but still, you know, it just, you know, they didn't appear there. It's just kind of going sideways. You know, this one is a better one because, you know, you have a move up, you know, it's a clearer high. This one is sort of in the middle of this range. And this one, you know, you got a nice move down from 81.5 down to the 79s. Another buy signal here popped up before turning around. You know, anything else? Couple of lows here with the divergences, but no ratios, nothing. You know, it's just divergence. You can't just buy every divergence you see. Here you're seeing a lot of negative ratios. You know, ratio bounds lows, indicating prices being rejected. You know, above the 79 area, and you know, then again you get this. You come down in here at 72. And boom, what do you see? You see 1157. You got a divergence. You've got a ratio bounds low, indicating that there's some stopping volume. And it did hold, you know, for the short term before turning around and coming off, going into the cash close. You know, then cash closed. You know, the Asian session opened, and we just sort of, well, I don't want to call this the Asian session. It's more the evening session. This is the pre-Asian session. Asia's, you know, 5 in the morning. It's you know, Asian session hasn't really opened yet. You know, then we came up during the you know, during the Asian session and hit that high where you have the divergence, you got a ratio, you got the price rejector. So yeah, this one you got, you know, it's really 3 things right here, and you know, it's just then it just sort of went sideways on you. You know, when you get, you know, a good sell signal, the market ends up going sideways on you. It's usually a sign to get out, not necessarily to hold it. You know, but you know, especially, you know, this is just before 8 o'clock and you're just going sideways for the next hour. That's really a good sign to get out. You know, until 22, it's already, you know, 10 o'clock. You know, this is just before 8 o'clock. You know, I wouldn't hold the position that long. If the trade's not working out, you know, rather quickly, just get out. So thanks for watching this video. To learn more about the trading software that I use in this presentation, which, you know, I created, you know, a lot of these things are explained in the software and the documentation. You know, you buy the software, you get a trading course, 15 hours of training, and you know, you get access to the training room to see it in real time. You know, visit my website, orderflows.com, to learn more about my software, about me, you know, my background in trading, and you know, if it's something that you think can help your trading, then you know, shoot me an email or purchase the software. So thanks everyone, and I'll catch you on the inside. Bye bye.